Good morning, Tech for Senior. It is July 18th. It is a gorgeous day outside today. It is the episode 121. What do you think, Hewie?
I guess I have to unmute. We're getting there.
Yeah, 121. There you go. So welcome everyone. Thank you for those that we do appreciate you being here, because it is your enthusiasm that keeps the show going and keeps our energy going to keep producing videos and making the shows happen. And thank you all of you people over on YouTube as well. The show is being broadcast over onto YouTube. So we have some fans over there. So thank you for coming as well. We also
sound a little different today. What's going on?
Well, I got a new microphone. And you and I were testing it out on Saturday. And you said the nicest thing to me on Saturday. For a 70-year-old guy, you said you sound more sexy with the new microphone. So thank you, Hewie. Thanks a lot. So there you go. I do sound a little bit. Hopefully I spent a bunch of money on the microphone, so hopefully I do sound better. We also have a show on Thursday, Tech for Senior Live, and that of course is on Thursday, and we use StreamYard to broadcast that out to our Facebook page and our Facebook and of course YouTube. Right. And that actually turns into a podcast, which is out on Friday. And of course, this show, we edit and clean up and put it back up for everyone to view later on today. So we have 121 copies of our past shows that you could just listen to for 121 hours straight. Wouldn't that be cool, eh?
Yeah, if you have nothing else to do, what a wonderful way to spend time.
You could binge out on our shows. Yeah, that'd be cool. Which will be great. We have a great show for you today. Of course, we have Michael Daniels here. He is a product expert. Now, I guess one of the things we'll talk about is who knows what a product expert is. I'm sure Michael will tell us, and we look forward to his comments. Also, Chris and Jim Gould are here. Chris, of course, you all know from Geeks on Tour and their work with Google Photos, and Chris is a product expert as well. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I want to introduce everybody today. But before I do that, I want to thank to pay the bills. I want to thank two people who gave us generous donations this week. Marilyn Wilson and Tom Euler. Thank you so much for your donations. It certainly does help pay the bills. So thank you again. We have our premiere service this afternoon or later on at 1:30. This week, Bob is going to talk on storing your digital driver's license. Good topic. And Hewie is going to finish up with his great Facebook, all the settings in Facebook. This will be part 4 and the final part. So if you have been following along and enjoying Hewie's work with Facebook, please follow up. That will be on. And I'm going to talk about digitizing all your receipts and what to do with those receipts. So that's the 3 selections we have today. I'll put the link in the show notes in the chat. It went out, of course, on our newsletter. We also have a newsletter we send out twice a week. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We do send on Saturday. We send the agenda out, and I do send the link to our the premiere service as well, and that will start at 1:30. So let me introduce everyone today. Of course, you all know our my co-host Hewie Poplock. Hewie, how did your week go?
Week went well, and I do want to remind people the newsletter that goes out twice a week. The beginning of it are reminders of our different shows and so on. But do scroll down to the bottom, because there are some great articles that each of us contribute. Different ones on Monday, on Tuesdays, and then on different ones on Saturday. So make sure you do take a look at the articles. We put a lot of time in either finding or writing them. And please make sure you read them and share them as well. And be sure to share the newsletter with people.
Good thoughts, Hewie. And of course, our security expert, Bob Gustisha. How did your week go, Bob?
Just fine. Had the pleasure of going to a doctor. They're going to pick up my eyelashes or my eyebrows so that maybe I'll be able to look like I actually have eyes.
Oh,
The
really?
doctor also told me it'll be about 2 months that I'll be using a black eye. So I'll have to find some of those virtual glasses to wear for a while.
Very good. Very good. And Ray Baxter, our music director. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, but I've always been pretty healthy. I've long time believer that the genes you're born with really dictate quite a bit as to how your life is going to be health-wise. But I had a little trouble with my vision recently. So I went to the doctor, the optician last week, and he tells me I'm going to need cataract operation at some point soon. So,
Oh, really?
But everybody else has said to me that it's not even an operation anymore. It's a procedure. You're in and out the same day. So, but he said I can hold off, and I'm gonna wait at least 6 months and maybe a year. We'll see.
Hey, you'll get rid of your glasses if you get that procedure done. I don't wear glasses anymore, so don't wait too long.
All right, I may take your advice.
All right. And then, of course, Bill James, we don't want to get you talking too much because you might start coughing.
Well, actually, I'm actually a lot better. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, hopefully
It was kind of a trying week, but I'm on the mend.
There you go. You're getting better. That's great. All right. I had an interesting week. I wanted to tell everyone an interesting story. We had we had company this week, and they came from Calgary and visited us out on the West Coast here. So that's about a 2-hour plane ride directly. I guess it would be west to our neck of the woods. And of course, they on Friday evening we celebrated, and they were going home, and we all went to bed. And my last comments to them were, "Hey, don't expect to get the plane in the morning because of all the cancellations and problems that everybody knows about all the airports, right? All the flights that are canceled and all the problems we see with traveling." So they laughed and said, "Of course, we'll be fine. We're flying a company called WestJet," and they said, "Well, we should be just fine. Don't worry about it." Well, at 1:30 in the morning, so they got up the next.
You're breaking up.
Just a minute here. Should be back in a sec. So I was cooking them breakfast on Saturday morning, and and we, of course, were saying all the nasty things about airlines and all the horrible things that were happening, and so on and so forth, and cursing, swearing. And of course, we turned the news on and found out the reason why all the flights were canceled, and it had nothing to do with actually the airlines at all. In fact, on late Friday, there was a freight train that left Calgary, and it was traveling west, and it derailed. And the derailment took out all the fiber optic lines along the track that were the lines that connected the NavCan navigation for the aircraft. Now, you might think that when airplanes fly, that the pilots fly the airplanes, but in fact, they don't. What the pilots do is they put the VORs in, or it's a map they use to have the navigation system fly the planes. And of course, this broken cable took down all the VORs in British Columbia. So that grounded all the planes. Now, the interesting thing about that was if I'd asked anybody here today, could a train cause problems with air travel? Most of you would said, no, that wouldn't, how would that ever happen? But in fact, this did. And the train wreck caused the air problems. It had nothing to do with airports or not enough pilots or not enough people transferring baggage. It was a train wreck and the fiber optic lines going down that caused the problem. So I thought that was an interesting technology story for everyone. All right, Bob, are you ready to roll?
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending July 15th, 2022. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and get involved. This ransomware attack could be one of 2022's biggest health data breaches. A ransomware attack on a little-known debt collection firm that serves hundreds of hospitals and medical facilities across the U.S. could be one of the biggest data breaches of personal and health information this year. The Colorado-based professional finance company known as PFC, which contracts with thousands of organizations to process customer and patient unpaid bills and outstanding balances, disclosed on July 1st that it had been hit by a ransomware months earlier in February. PFC said in its data breach notice that more than 650 healthcare providers are affected by its ransomware attack, adding that the attackers took patients' name, addresses, their outstanding balance, and information relating to their account. PFC said that in some cases, dates of birth, social security numbers, and health insurance and medical treatment information were also taken by the attackers. PFC Chief Executive Michael Shoup did not respond to our email asking for information about its ransomware attack. Instead, the company's general counsel, Nick Prola, reiterated its boilerplate statement in an email but declined to answer our specific questions, including why it took the company 4 months to notify affected healthcare providers and whether the stolen data was encrypted. Read more at TechCrunch. TikTok to roll out content levels rating system to protect teens. TikTok is the Wild West of social media feeds, and they're all kinds of a Wild West. A scroll could start on a dance trend, jump to a clip of raw chicken marinating in NyQuil, and end on video of someone filing their own teeth. It's weird out there and occasionally dangerous. Now TikTok is taking its next step to rein things in. The company announced a rating system called Content Levels that it plans to institute an early version of in the coming weeks. In a Wednesday blog post, TikTok had indicated back in February that it was moving toward age-based feed restrictions, and Content Levels offers the first details of what that might look like. App users also now have more control over their own video streams, with the ability to selectively mute hashtags. It remains to be seen if the platform's new content moderation efforts can make a dent in the issue of potentially dangerous viral video trends. For more on this story, see Gizmodo. Apparently, Amazon has a form so police can get my data without permission or a warrant. When you purchase Amazon Ring cameras and Amazon Echo Dots, there is a web page where law enforcement can fill out a form, say there's a life-threatening emergency, and get access to your data without your consent, a court order, or any kind of warrant. There's nothing in the terms of service about this, and the company has maintained for years that it helps police get consent first. But it's happening anyhow. As of today, it's not clear whether owners would ever know that their Ring camera footage, as one example, was accessed by police and potentially saved for months or years afterward. Do they get told afterwards? It's not clear who at Amazon would make these good faith determinations, or whether Amazon employees watch the footage or just trust law enforcement to do so. Read the whole story on The Verge. FCC hands down $116 million robocall fine, but begs for more enforcement powers. This fine is big, said FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel in a statement accompanying the fine's announcement, but it also calls attention to the fact that we need new rules of the game. The FCC, like the FTC and other agencies, has the power to define and process fines or other financial damages. It doesn't collect them itself. Instead, it hands all the paperwork over to the Justice Department, which takes it from there. One problem, the once getting fined sometimes get away with paying only a fraction of the amount. Sadly, Congress is probably too at war with itself right now to pass the kind of executive empowering legislation that would be needed here. But hopefully the FCC doesn't have to wait too long before it can start laying down the law itself. Read the whole story at TechCrunch. Omegle can be sued for matching child with sexual predator, says the court. Chat service Omegle is on the hook for a lawsuit after its matching system paired an 11-year-old girl with a man who then sexually abused her. A district judge in Portland, Oregon, said the company's system wasn't protected by the legal shield that covers much user-generated content. The case isn't concluded, but it opens the door to more prosecutions based on how a platform designs its services. For the whole story, see The Verge. Hunter Biden's iCloud backup hacked. A 4chan user claims to have hacked into Hunter Biden's iCloud backup and then recovered many files belonging to the president's son. The user posted several screenshots that show the iPhone backup extractor interface with the caption, "iPhone contains voicemails, videos, voice recordings, pictures, etc. of Joe. In this zip are two folders, one for an iPhone and the other for iPhone backup." The user also posted photos of Hunter Biden that do not appear anywhere else online, giving credence to the notion that the hack is legitimate. While iCloud backups do increase a user's attack surface, if one uses a strong password and two-factor authentication, files stored there can be relatively safe. FBI are investigating, but at this point, it is still unclear how the hacker got into Biden's account. For more, see Vice. How to opt out of T-Mobile's ad tracking. If users want to opt out of T-Mobile's new App Insight program, which collects information about apps installed on the phone, how often they are used, which Wi-Fi networks are connected, web browsing habits, they need to install an obscure new app. Depending on the device, users need to download either Magenta Ads Platform Choices on Android or Magenta Market Platform Choices for iPhone. The apps reveal which companies have collected information from the device and give users the option to delete their shared data or opt out of tracking. For more on this story, see ZDNet. America's Frontier Fund invests in deep tech. A new investment trust known as America's Frontier Fund will be used to support innovation in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, fusion, microelectronics, 6G cellular technology, advanced manufacturing, and synthetic biology. The fund is bankrolled by the White House and tech heavyweights Peter Thiel, Eric Schmidt, and Craig Newmark. The goal is to give the U.S. an edge over China when it comes to deep technologies, including cybersecurity. Cyber is going to radically change over the next 5 or 6 years from the traditional way that we think of layered defenses into a much more real-time, algorithmic kind of competition. AFF CEO Gilman Louis commented, adding, "It's going to be machine on machine." For more on this, see Cyber Scoop. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. To combat the ever-growing issue of tech abuse, we've joined forces with Refuge to create a digital breakup kit that equips women with the knowledge to effectively and safely break up digitally. Read up on our recent post to find out more about the kit. Read the article at the link listed. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Bob.
In case you're interested, the links to all these stories are now part of the follow information on my video channel.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Great. Let me introduce Michael. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is what a product expert is. Recently, Michael and Chris went to New York, where a number of product experts were there, Google product experts, and they got some awards and were able to sort of a recognition for all the work they do. And I thought it was a good idea today to talk about what is a product expert and how you might become one, and in fact how you can solve problems and get your problem solved through the community forums, and how the product experts can help you. So if you had a problem with a Google product, suppose you had a problem with Outlook, how would you resolve that problem? Well, you might do a Google search and find out if it would solve it. You certainly could do a YouTube search. Maybe there's a YouTube video made, and you could solve the problem by looking at the video. You might ask us, Tech for Senior, you might ask us on the show today how you would solve that problem. But another way that you could do this is go to the Google's community forum, and each community forum has, for each of their services, has a community and product experts that will help you with your problems. And Michael, of course, is a product expert on a number of different products, and he spends a lot of time in the community forums helping people solve their problems. And I suspect that a lot of you don't know where these forums are, or what these forums are, or the value, or even how to find these. Maybe, and the other thing is, if you do and you spend a lot of time, and maybe you're an expert in a certain area, maybe you want to become a product expert. So I thought this was a good time to ask Michael to come on the show. Michael, of course, is a good friend of ours. He and I spend time in his community every day. I know Michael very well. He's a very hardworking, conscientious individual who has been on the show many times before. But I specifically wanted Michael to talk today about how you can access this area, what is a product expert, and what do you expect when you go to a community forum if you have a problem. Michael, where are you? Can you take it away?
Right here. Yes.
Take it away.
Absolutely.
Can you help us with this? Can you answer some of those questions?
Yeah, 100% I can. Absolutely. Can you hear me okay? Everybody hear me? Okay, good. I just want to
share the screen, and you got it. There you go.
All right. So this is awesome. This is great. I mean, it's wonderful that you're giving this exposure out there, because I think a lot of people want help and need help. And I think that this is a great way to do that. Anybody that knows me, I've always helped people. My community is built on that. Like Ron mentioned, I have a YouTube channel that you can become a member there. And I've done over 800, close to 800 tips now. So I'm used to helping people. Well, what I did was, a long time ago, I went into the forums that he's talking about, this community, and started asking questions, because I had questions of my own. And what happened was I said, well, I was looking at some of the other questions. I can answer some of these. So I'm going to do that. Let me start answering some of this. So then Google, an employee of Google, actually reached out to me and said, hey, you seem very knowledgeable. You're answering a lot of questions properly. Do you want to become a product expert? Had no idea what that is. And I said, sure. Okay. And so I'm going to walk you through what we're even talking about. Okay. So Ron covered, he listed a lot of stuff that he wants to discuss. So let me do that real quick. I'm going to share my screen. So let me go here, and I will go to Boom. This is my screen. And if you have a question, okay, I'm going to put this on here. At the top of the screen, you can see, if you have a question, I'll bring your question right up on screen using that link. And it is case sensitive. So if you have your mobile phone and you're sitting there watching with me at the top of the screen, you want to punch that in and ask a question, feel free, and I will bring that up whenever we have that. I'm sure you're going to do Q&A at the end as well, Ron, I'm sure, but you can also do it here and I can answer it as I go. I'll see it pop up. So anyway, so first of all, how do you access it? How do you get there? How do you get to this community? A lot of products have it built in where it'll take you there, but if you just want to type in Google help, boom, this will take you to the main center, and this will show you a list of, and I'll go to that list. When you hit that, you will have a list of all products. You can see down below there's one, and you might not be able to read this, but you can see there's Chrome, YouTube, Gmail. You can tell all the symbols. Get your product in those specific things. Google Photos is example. It's on here. That's one where Chris would go in and answer. I think Ron mentioned Chris from Geeks on Tour. She would go in as a product expert and answer questions there. Now let's go a little further. Let's go. There's a couple things. You can just add the word help and product, like help YouTube. And then the key is you want to look for the links that say support.google.com and then YouTube after it. Okay. So you might say help YouTube. Okay. Another way you might access that, you could say, like right here, you can see it says the product, like you might do YouTube help. You might do it backwards. That's fine. It'll still bring up that same web page and bring you to that. So these are ways. And the other thing you can do too, if you forget help or whatever the word and you want support, there you go. Support YouTube brings up that exact same link. Chrome, if you're in the Chrome browser, it really makes it easy to access if you're using Chrome to get help with the product you want. It's very, very helpful and easy. So all of those work. So feel free to do that. And then here's the Help Center. So try the Help Center. This is where you want to be. What you do when you click that and go there, this is the YouTube Help. This is where it brings you. The first one, if you look right under the words YouTube and Help, you'll see the word Help Center. It's highlighted in blue with a line under it on the left side. That's what it brings you first. This is the Help Center. Try these answers. If you can search for your issue and it'll bring up impossible solutions. There's a whole list down below that. This is a slide, so I can't really scroll down, but I'm just telling you, there's a lot of stuff down there that might be there about a topic that you have individually. The next step you might take is community. Now, here's where we come in as product experts. This is where I told you, I said, hey, I asked a question in here in the forums, and this is where people were interacting and stuff. You can see featured posts. They have featured posts. They have hot topics. And then you can go into individual areas, like it might be on this particular channel, it might be like YouTube Shorts, or it might be individualized to specific different things. So it could be any one of those kind of things. So this is a great way to get going in the community part of it. Now, I'm going to show you right here's one. Okay, so I'm a bronze. Okay, so I didn't bring this up in the beginning, but I'll bring it up now. I am a bronze. You can kind of, I don't know if you can read that, but down there it says Michael Daniels. Here's one where I answered as a bronze member. In YouTube, I am only a bronze member. They do it kind of like the Olympics. They have bronze, silver, gold, and each one is a level. The more questions you answer, the more you grow and also get recommended answers and things like that. So I just wanted to emphasize that too. Here's where I was helping, and you see I'm a bronze member in here, and I'll show you another community where I'm actually a platinum. It goes all the way up to platinum, and I think diamond, and then there's alumni. So you'll see that too. So let me go to that, and you're like, oh wow, what is this? This is just a question that somebody had, and I could help them out. So there, and then right here you can kind of see. This is where I am a platinum product expert in messages, and this is actually someone that I helped them. I answered their question and they gave me a recommended answer. So I get more points. So you build points basically is all you're doing. We are totally not paid. This is people just like you and I. If you feel like you're answering and helping people and doing stuff, this is an amazing thing to help out other people. That's my whole goal in this. I don't get paid. I just want to help some other people. So then you say, well, okay, so that's great and all, but what are the benefits from doing this and becoming a product expert and stuff? Well, one of the cool things is you get once a year, they send us on a trip. This is me at the Google store in New York City. I took a picture because I had a wall. I have most of those products. So I went ahead while I was in there, and they gave us a behind the scene tour with just, I mean, we actually got to see more than what the public gets to see. It was really kind of cool. The warehouse and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff under NDA that we can't say or see or whatever and that kind of stuff. So it's really kind of cool. There's things you can do and can say, and sometimes you can't. So, and then here, this is it. So the benefits to me, you get that. This is the Pier 57, Google's Pier 57, the image on the right-hand side that Google owns, and they refurbished, and we got to go there and see it. I think it was like, it's only been up for like 6 weeks. It just recently got done. So we were like some of the first ones as far as guests coming in and seeing it. It was pretty awesome. And then the other thing is they do send us out there once a year. When they send us, we get a room in an amazing hotel, a flight out there, and we get meals. They provide meals for us. So all of this, I just took the fun stuff, pictures of all of this. But so, you know, you do get a benefit of that. One of the biggest thing is, I think, is the collaboration and the meeting of like-minded people helping people and that kind of stuff. The conversations that you have, we really miss this in-person conversation and stuff with the situation in the world. And we missed that part of it. I didn't realize how much I missed it until I actually got to meet up with these people in New York this past event. And it really is something when you're just sitting down. Let's say you're at the hotel, you're just sitting down in the lobby or whatever. And even though you don't share products, like if somebody's a product expert in YouTube and somebody's a product expert in Gmail and AdSense and all these different Google products, you don't realize the commonality that you have. I guess I don't even know if that's a word, but it's so cool because it's like-minded people that want to help people. And if you have issues with things, it's kind of cool to be able to reach out to some of those people. It's a great environment to be in and a great bunch of fun helping people. And that's really my whole goal out of all this. And that's what I base my whole community on, my personal one. So I hope this helped you, and hopefully you can go find something if you need help with something, anything Google. It's amazing. I wish other companies had something similar, but always remember, give as much detail when you're given something and you want to ask something, give as much detail as possible. Don't just say, hey, listen, my iPhone's not working, or with Google Chat. Be sure and be very descriptive. What version of each of those? Be very descriptive in your questions for us to help you more. Remember, it's people just like you and I. I want to help you, but if I have a different version phone, my answer might not be the one that will help you and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing whenever you're asking questions. I don't care if you go to Microsoft or you go over to Apple specifically, or who are not Google. They don't have those same kind of forums and stuff. And if they do, sometimes you don't even get an answer for days and days and days. And that's one thing that I pride myself on. I try and get in there and I answer questions the day it happens. And I just like helping people. So that's what the whole goal is there. That's it, Ron. I don't know what else, if you have anything.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wanted people to understand where they could go for help and what they might expect when they get help. And thank you. I think you answered all those questions. Will you be able to stick around for the Q&A at the end?
Glad to help. Do anything again. Yep.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks a lot. All right. Thanks so much. Bob, are you ready to roll?
I am. Bluetooth is about to get its biggest update in years. Bluetooth is about to get its huge LE audio upgrade. After several years of work, the Bluetooth Special Interest Group says it's finalized Bluetooth LE audio. This is a major upgrade for Bluetooth audio that adds a slew of new features, including a simple solution to whole home audio. The new Bluetooth LE audio standard includes dozens of specifications, most notably the new LC3 codec, which should supplant SPC. This codec increases audio quality across the board, even at the low bit rates used to conserve battery life in hearing aids, headsets, and other products. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and get involved. But the new Auracast system may be the most exciting part of Bluetooth LE audio. Auracast lets you broadcast Bluetooth to multiple audio devices simultaneously, allowing you to pair several headsets with a TV, for example, or turning generic Bluetooth speakers into a whole home audio system. Searching for Auracast broadcast should be easy, but Bluetooth SIG says it's like searching for Wi-Fi networks. You can place passcodes on these broadcasts or even share them with a QR code. Auracast should also grant some behind-the-scenes improvements to Bluetooth, like reduced latency when using Google Assistant with earbuds. Everyone will enjoy Bluetooth LE audio's unique features, but those who are hard of hearing may see the most tangible benefit. Both LC3 codec and Auracast broadcasts present a unique opportunity to improve the quality, battery life, and price of hearing aids. It should also let users pair hearing aids with multiple devices simultaneously, like a game console for game audio and smartphone for podcasts or YouTube videos. Currently, there's just one problem with this upgrade. You probably won't experience Bluetooth LE audio until you buy a new device. A handful of smartphones, TVs, and audio receivers may gain Bluetooth LE audio through a software update, but most products that consumers use today will never support Bluetooth LE audio. Between Bluetooth LE audio and Qualcomm's recently announced aptX lossless standard, Bluetooth audio looks set to take a big step forward in the months ahead. But what's currently unclear is whether we'll need to buy entirely new devices to enjoy the benefits. The Bluetooth SIG website notes that it may be possible for some existing devices to be updated to support Bluetooth LE audio, and early support for the standard is already available in Android 13's beta. But I suspect that most people won't benefit until they buy upgraded hardware. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Good things coming.
I'm excited. You got me excited. Wow, that's going to be cool. We'll be able to pair to more than one device at the same time. That's cool. Yep, good stuff. Hewie, are you going to tell us how to live healthy?
Yeah, well, not exactly, but let's see what I have for you.
All right.
Tech for Seniors present the website of the week with Hewie Poplock.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Website of the week number 12. I'm Hewie Poplock. Today we're going to be talking about Office of Dietary Supplements, or ODS. ODS is under the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Underneath it is the National Institutes of Health, and under it is the Division of Program Coordination, Planning, and Strategic Initiatives. Underneath it is the National Institute of Health. And that's where we find the Office of Dietary Supplements. Here is their website. They have featured fact sheets. They also have other programs and activities. So let's go to the website. This is the website. There's a lot of information here. And what I want to do is take a look at the health information, but there's also news and events, programs and activities, grants and funding, and then some information about the Office of Dietary Supplements. But let's go back to the health information. And what I want to concentrate here today is the supplement fact sheets. So I'm going to click on that. And it takes us to a listing of dietary supplement fact sheets that are available. And as you can see, you can either click on the alphabet or you can scroll down. They are alphabetical. And there's a great many of the supplements that you see on the shelves, you see advertised on TV, or that you may be taking yourself and may not even understand what they are. Your neighbor, your doctor, your relative might have suggested this particular supplement is good for what ails you, and you start taking it and you either feel some difference or you don't, but you don't know much about the item. Well, this is where you can find out about it. So let's take a look at a couple. One that I have used. Now, I want to say up front, I am not a doctor. I am not a medical expert. I am not recommending anything. I may mention some things that I have taken, but I am not saying that you should. Please do your due diligence before you try any of these, and make sure that you have the approval of your physician. But let's take a look at echinacea. You will see when we click on it, it shows the plant that it comes from. It gives a little bit of information. When we click on it, we'll get a fact sheet about it. It gives some common names, some Latin names, and then some background. How much do we know? What have we learned? What do we know about safety? For most adults, short-term oral by mouth use of echinacea is probably safe. The safety of long-term use is uncertain. And then keep in mind, take charge of your health. Talk with your health care providers about any complementary health approaches you use. Together, you can make shared, well-informed decisions. Now it tells a little bit about where the information comes from and some references about it. So it's a complete fact sheet on the particular item that you're looking at. Let's take a look at one of the vitamins. We'll come down here to the V's, and you'll see things that you, I'm sure, have talked about or at one time or another either tried or are familiar with. Here are the various vitamins. Let's take a look at vitamin B12 as an example. You've got a consumer, and then you can look at it in Spanish, and you can look at it with as a health professional. Let's look at the consumer first. You will see vitamin B12. There's a table of contents. What this is a list of the topics that are below. So if you click on any one of them, you will see that it jumps down to that part. But let's look at the top. What is vitamin B12 and what does it do? It explains it. And then how much vitamin B12 do I need? And then it'll give you by age, how many micrograms should you be taking. For adults, it says 2.4 micrograms. What foods provide vitamin B12? And so on. So we go down to the bottom and there's all kinds of information and references. Where can you find out more about it? Now also, it mentioned that there's a health professional fact sheet on vitamin B12. This is a little bit more medical, but some of you may be informed enough that this might make more sense to you, or you might like to look at this as well. And again, there's more information and sources of B12, what foods provide it, about the intake and status, deficiency, groups at risk of vitamin B12 deficiency or inadequacy, vitamin B12 and health. So there's a lot of information that you can inform yourself of these dietary supplements that you may be taking. So let's come back to the fact sheets list. It's there. There's general supplement information, supplements for specific purposes. So you can look by purpose. So if you're concerned about Alzheimer's, if you click there, it will show you what dietary disease, it talks about it, and then tells you what science says. So there's information there as well. That's the National Institute of Health, Office of Dietary Supplements, website of the week number 12. I'm Hewie Poplock. There you go.
Yeah, thanks so much. All right. I have a short little video for everyone. Let's see what I've got here. Right. Good morning. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. I wanted to address a question one of our viewers asked last week. Very observant, and thank you for asking this question. You asked, when you look at the edited video recording of our show, the one that I download, redo, and put back up on YouTube, why I don't include Ray's music? That is a very good question, and I'd like to address it today. Let me just go over the history of this a bit. As you know, our meeting is a Zoom meeting. This means that we have 100 guests that come and listen to the show, but you have to come to our Zoom meeting. It is a closed meeting. This means that we're in a private meeting and we can pretty much do anything we want. We have a license for 100 members and we could show movies, play videos, listen to music, whatever we wanted to do in our private Zoom meeting. Well, hold on a minute. Not so easy, because of course we don't have it totally private. Remember, we broadcast this to YouTube. So everything in our Zoom meeting is streaming out to YouTube and of course goes out to the whole world. Well, when Ray plays his music, we don't have a license to broadcast that music around the world. So that's why I log out of YouTube prior to Ray's music coming on. So Ray then plays his music segment, but it's only for the group in our Zoom meeting. You probably understand that, and that is self-explanatory. And then step 2 is when I actually get the rendered recording of our Zoom meeting and I download that and video edit it. I clean it up, I change the any mistakes, I put intros, outros, and make it so it's a fun thing for you to watch. And I post that as the official version on our YouTube channel. That's what our viewer asked, is why didn't I include Ray's music? Well, that would be the same problem, because this is going to be viewed by everybody in the whole world. So how do I solve that problem? Let me show you how you actually can watch Ray's music in that video. Let me just clear up a couple of things for you and show you. I've now downloaded the video and I'm going to edit this in Camtasia. Let's have a look and see how I do it. So here is the unedited recording. You'll start to see Chris and Jim Gould, me talking. There comes Ray. And here, of course, is his ABBA segment. And then, of course, the music that he played, which we have to take out. So I'm going to come back now, and we're going to edit this out. And you can see it's easy to see how this is because you can of the waveform. So it's easy to sort of just delete this out. We're going to delete it out. And now we're going to come back, and here's Here's Ray's segment. This is his own segment. And then of course we deleted it out and now we're finished. So right at the beginning, right where we're going to delete it out, I'm going to put a little note in here. And the note is going to put it right about here. And now let's see what we're going to put in the note. So it says clip top right for music. Now as we play this again, as we come along, when you watch it now, it's going to show that sign just before the area we cut out. Okay. I've now uploaded the video to YouTube, and we now are in the video editor, and I'm going to do some editing of the video in YouTube Video Editor Online. So let's have a look and see. So here's the video. This is the one that is the finished version. And I'm going to come down to a thing called cards. This is where I can actually insert a link to the video. And we're going to place this right over that little box that I played in saying click at the top. So here we are. I'm going to see, you'll see I add a card. Now I've already done that. And this is Ray's video. You'll see here I can choose any video I want to add. But I've chosen, if you look here, this is the video that Ray used. All right. So we're going to click that. So we're going to leave that there, and then we're going to. This is the playhead, and this is we're going to try and just get it exactly where I put that click to the top. All right, and you're going to see what's going to happen in a minute. So we're going to just move this over a bit. I think that's about it, and I'm going to just put the little bar right there, and we're going to save it. Now what should happen when we play the YouTube video is that you're going to see a drop-down menu come once you see click to the top, and you click on that and it's going to take you right to the music link. Let's see how that works. So this is the edited version you'll see. So let's watch and see what happens. At the top right, you'll see that little sign come up. There we go. Click top right to see video, and there it is. If you click on that link, it'll take you directly to the music video and you can listen to it. Then you come back and you'll come right into our video. So that's the link that we just inserted, and that's how you can see the music on our YouTube edited video. If you miss the drop-down menu in Ray's segment, continue to the end, and after the credits you'll see the outro, and here we have the video recording on the left side and the Tech for Senior episodes on the right. It's always in the outro on the left side to get the music. So now that's an easy way to watch the music either by clicking on the link in Ray's segment or waiting till the end and you can see the link in the outro. There we go. Speaking of YouTube, this is a time where we have to say goodbye to all our YouTube friends. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget, I put in the chat our premiere service, and we'll see you same time next week. All right, Ray, I'm going to stop that, and then we will get you going.
Just a word, Ron. Thank you again. So, folks, Ron does so much work behind the scenes you wouldn't imagine, and he makes me look good even by all the editing that he does. So much appreciated, Ron. Thank you. That's all right. Yes. So recently I went to see the new Elvis Presley movie. And you know what the title of it is? Elvis. And it stars this newcomer, Austin Butler, who is outstanding in the lead role. And when you hear the music, Austin Butler is actually singing in the early stages of Elvis's life. Later on, they kind of blend his voice so it can show how it matured as Elvis got older. Tom Hanks is in the movie too. He's the singer's longtime manager, Colonel Tom Parker. The movie covers Elvis's early years in Tupelo, Mississippi, to his untimely death in 1977. Imagine how long ago that is now. It's definitely worth taking the time to catch this at your local theater. Now, as you would expect, one of the first songs Butler sings in the movie is "That's All Right." So here's a little history on this otherwise relatively unknown song. Now, Elvis was known to Sam Phillips, the founder of Memphis-based Sun Records, as it was at that studio that Elvis made an acetate recording of the song "My Happiness" back in 1953. Now, many reports say this was to be a birthday gift for his mother Gladys, but actually this was just Elvis wanting to hear what his recorded voice sounded like. A year later, Elvis returned to Sun and without any specific planning, ended up recording the song "That's All Right." And that became a local hit in Memphis, but it only sold about 20,000 copies, so it never charted nationally. Now, the fact that Elvis knew this tune, to me, gives evidence to his knowledge of early blues-style recordings by rural black singers, as this song was composed and originally recorded by Arthur Big Boy, that was his nickname, Crudup, in Chicago, and released in 1947 on the RCA Victor label as a 78 RPM disc. Crudup's song was titled "That's All Right, Mama," while the Elvis version was more up-tempo, with the title slightly changed to merely "That's All Right." And despite these artistic changes, kudos to Sun Records, they correctly gave writer credit to Arthur Crudup. Crudup was born in rural Mississippi in 1905 and started his singing career with the gospel group The Harmonizing Four. That allowed for his first visit to Chicago in 1939, where he decided to stay. He initially worked as a solo musician, barely making ends meet, but after a few years was able to sign a recording contract with an RCA Records subsidiary. Now, this is the sad part. The fact many of his songs were later recorded by other artists besides Elvis. This includes Elton John and Rod Stewart. Crudup was never paid the royalties he so richly deserved. Legal action to secure the unpaid royalties was taken in Crudup's later years, but the final result was a failed settlement in 1970. He died 4 years later. So in my personal collection, I have both the DVD as well as the CD titled "Good Rockin' Tonight, The Legacy of Sun Records." This was released in 2001. The 15 tracks on the CD are all songs that were initially released on Sun Records, but are being performed by various contemporary artists, including Elton John, Bob Dylan, and Eric Clapton, just to name a few. The first track on this disc has Paul McCartney performing today's song in studio with Elvis's original bandmates, Scotty Moore on guitar and DJ Fontana on drums. It doesn't get much better than this. And there you have it.
That was great.
That is fantastic. He does sound an awful lot like Elvis's version of that as well.
Yes,
I'm going to go see the movie.
it's worth your time. Really good.
Excellent. Thanks, Ray. Thanks a lot. And thank you all for coming. It's now top of the hour. We're going to open it up to Q&A in a moment. We have, of course, Michael Daniels will be here as well. So he's a product expert. Ask him your questions. I can never stump him. He knows all the answers. So I hope you guys come up with a question he can't answer. That would be great. But I've never found one yet. So thank you for coming. Those of you who have to leave, remember, of course, our Thursday show, we'll be doing Tech for Senior Live. That'll be fun this Thursday. Bill, is it the third Thursday? Are you coming this Thursday? Will you be well enough, you think?
I'll be fine. Yes.
It'll be great.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be fun then. All right, we'll see you on Thursday. And then also don't forget our premiere service. Hewie's going to Bob's going to talk on you storing your digital driver's license. Hewie's going to do his part 4 on Facebook settings. And of course, I'll be talking on what to do with your digital receipts, all coming up at 1:30. All right, now I know that Greg, of course, has the first question, which will be great. I want, if you want to raise your hand, we've got a lot of people in the audience today. So if you could raise your hand, that pops you up so I can see you, and we will, and let's see if we can stump Michael on some questions. Greg, can you can go ahead. First question.
Okay, thanks, Michael, for the great presentation. I don't want to slap you in the face, but when I start the computer up, Google Drive comes up. Is there any way that you have or Google has a program that we can remove that on the startup? And if you do have that, can you give it to Ron so he can put it in our newsletter?
Yeah, so you're saying that you have Google Drive synced to your Windows machine? Is that what you're asking about? Is this a Windows machine?
On the startup, it comes up Google Drive, and I have to click it off.
Okay, is it what device are we talking about? A Windows machine, a Chromebook? What device?
I have a tower. It's
Okay,
a new
so
Dell, a big new Dell thing.
Okay, so at some point, probably what you've done is,
I
I'm
haven't done
guessing,
anything.
or someone has installed Google Drive to sync, and it's probably asking that question. I would have to see what you're getting or what can you take a screenshot of it when that happens so we can see exactly what is it asking you to do something, or does it just come up?
No, it just comes up and it just says Google Drive, and then it's got a little red square up in the top, and you got to click it off, and it goes off.
Michael,
Okay.
what he's probably referring to is, when Google Drive changed and it changed its services, and I got one of my computers, it pops up all the time until you actually go in and sync it. It keeps coming up with that message. That's a common problem.
Yeah, and or uninstall the sync possibly too. I mean, there's some kind of software it's looking for, so that's possible.
Yeah, I've tried to uninstall it and it won't do it. Google's got a block on it.
Okay, I am not a Google Drive expert, but that's a great question, and I would put that in the forum. You can go to just Google Drive help if you type that in, and I hope I'm not setting everybody's device off. We learned to say G instead of that word, but just because if anybody has speakers on, that's a habit that we've gotten into. But that's a perfect one to go in and ask those particular people on that specific question that they might be able to help you right away. As a matter of fact, it might be something as simple as that.
I went on YouTube, and YouTube has a real long deal. There's about 12 different steps to take it off. But anyway, thank you for your help.
Oh, of course.
Good show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Michael, can you put your hand up so you pop up on my screen so I can see you?
Yeah. Okay.
I like to watch you.
All right.
Go ahead, Jim. What's your question?
Well, I'm having problems with the Google account. Whenever that logs in, I can't get the icon for the main account to show, and then trying to switch between my other Gmail accounts doesn't work very well. Maybe I'm not understanding how this Google account works.
Okay, so you're talking about the little circle up in the top right when you're trying to change accounts or go to account. Is that what you're talking about? Or is that what you're talking about?
Right. The first one, the first screen does not show any icon, but it's in the right email account.
Okay, so is this on a computer or a Chromebook?
It's on a computer, PC.
On a PC computer. So what you're saying is, I'm going to go ahead and screen share. So you're saying that up here, this icon right up here, you're saying is not showing. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do a very good circle. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's sort of a generic figure.
Right. Okay. I know what you're saying. So you have not so you don't have an image there. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
You would like an image there.
Yeah, because it's
like, sure. So for example, if you look, when I pull down my list, you can see I have a bunch of different ones. Some of them have just an M, just my name, and some have just a picture. Some of them have just a clear image there. What you want to do is you want to go to accounts.google.com. and you want to go in and you want to edit this. There's a camera right on here. You can change that picture. I can kind of see when I'm hovering over it. Maybe you can.
Oh yeah.
When I hover over it, there's a camera right there. You can change that image, and that will give you an image from now on, and you won't get that little icon or whatever it is that's there.
Okay, thank you, because that'll
help
keep track of what I'm using.
Yeah, absolutely. This would be a good one for me to do as a daily tip. I have almost 800 daily tips that I do with my community. It's $10 a month. Come try it for a month if you want. Also, if you come watch our show, sometimes I gift out some. So if you come watch our show on Wednesdays, or I do a live game show on Friday night as well, come watch it. If you're in the audience and I throw out a couple free memberships to come watch and see what I do, this is the exact same kind of stuff that I do in there all the time. You can ask Ron and Hewie. They come in all the time. They're like, hey, listen, well, I'll do my tip or whatever. And then they'll say, hey, look, I got this other question. Can you help me out with this? So hopefully that helps out a little bit. But good. I hope that helped you.
It did. Speaking of which, another Google question. I just bought one of the Samsung Ultras, the S22, and it looks like all the Google stuff for Messenger, it's all changed.
Yeah, Messenger. When you say Messenger,
I don't mean YouTube.
Yeah, do you mean like Hangouts that's changed to Google Chat? See, or is it just messages?
Just
they don't.
SMS messages.
Oh, the text messaging. Yes. Text messaging definitely has changed. Okay. Through the upgrades. It's for sure. Messages, they're adding more and more stuff. And I am a product expert in messages. So your specific question is, it has changed. You're right. It has.
Yeah. Is there any way of going backwards? Because it's like I don't get the same amount of information that I got when I would open a regular SMS message.
Makes sense. Okay, so here's the deal. You said that's a Samsung device, right?
Right.
You can go back. You can go to Samsung Messages, but if you actually use Google Messaging, there is a difference too. Samsung Messages, Google Messages. I used to use Texture Messages. There's lots of different messages apps. Okay. But if you go into let me go into the Google Play Store real quick. And if you go in there, you'll see the one that says Google Messages. That's the key. Make sure you're talking, it's apples to apples on that. Okay. So I'm not sure if it'll pull up, but I'm going to try and find it if I can. So if I search Google Messages, it's this blue icon that looks like this, and it looks like other ones. So you have to make sure that this is the actual, what it looks like on your phone. This blue icon over here, you can kind of see me right here. That is the Google, and it'll say Google LLC on any app that is Google. It will say that on there, that is made by Google. So that's the key. If your icon does not look like that, then it's possible you're not using the app that you think you are, even though that it came with your Samsung phone or whatever and that kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the Samsung phone came with 3 different icons for messages. Right,
exactly, because they like to throw Facebook messages at you. They like to throw whatever. They throw all kinds of stuff. There's all. Be very careful because everybody uses the generic term messages. Could be Facebook messages, could be whatever. I mean, there's so many Slack messages, Textra, so many different companies. So make sure you're on the one that you think that you are. Like, for example, Textra messages is very close in the symbol that I used to use. Okay, so for example, my watch is talking to me. So I'll share my screen. This looks... Okay, so Textra SMS messaging, if you look, that looks almost like the Google one, doesn't it? It looks almost like it. It looks very similar. A lot of them do that blue with lines in it and stuff, so you have to be really careful on that and make sure. And that's why I'll go back arrow. So you can see Google Messages very close, very close. So that's right. They try and get you to use their message service so you just have to be cautious of which one you're actually using.
Now, if you want to link your PC to the phone, which I understand now you can do for text messages, is that something you would download to the PC?
Okay, so for Google Messages specific, I can only speak to that. I don't use any other one, but for Google Messages, what you can do is it's an option that you have in your phone, up in the app of the phone. You hit the 3 dots, you click on it, and boom, it has a choice. Do you want web messages. And then you have a QR code that you scan. You go to messages.google.com and then you scan a QR code and then it syncs that and puts it right there with you whenever you walk up to your computer. That answer your question?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay.
I'm going to give that a
Yeah.
try.
Sure, of course. Yeah, come join the community. We'd love to have you. Lots of
James.
stuff gets answered.
Phil James, go ahead.
Chat, will you?
Yeah,
Sure. Michael, thank you so much for being here today. I sent you a earlier message about a friend of mine, some sort of way got something downloaded on his Samsung phone called Messenger Home SMS Launcher. And to me, that's in the Play Store. But when I went over to try to fix his phone, it appears to me it's malware. So I just wanted you to maybe check that out and see if what's that's all about. But it was very invasive. It had lots of ads, and it actually replaced the Samsung One UI.
yeah. Okay. So the Messenger Home SMS Launcher, is that the one you're talking about?
It is. It's an app that's
Yeah.
in the Play Store, and it's
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
by
Yep.
Yobi.
Yobi. Yeah, Yobi Mobi. Yeah, Yobi Mobi. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. It's very invasive. Yes, exactly. It's another SMS service and it has the blue icon. It's very deceiving, etc. Again, all you have to do is take that off and put the right one on. I mean, just you can choose and pick which one you want. And yes, I had a friend that used this and it's very invasive. There's so many ads all the time that when you're trying to put a message in, an ad comes up. It's just very invasive. So yeah, just he should be able to take it off.
Well, I
He
did.
should
I
be
just
able to.
replaced,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
replaced that with the correct
Perfect.
UI. But I just wanted to just see if you were aware of that because it caught me by surprise. I'd never heard of it before.
Yep. There's 3 of them out there and I can't remember the names of them. There's no way I'm going to remember the names of them, but there's like 3 of them that they try to really get you to, I don't know what they're trying to get you to.
You've got to make sure it's not the top one, it's the right one that you have to choose. And the top one usually is not the right one.
That's a valid point. Valid point.
Good point. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Any more questions for Michael? We have time for one more question before we go. And don't forget, our premiere service starts in about 10 minutes. So any questions for Michael before we go? Michael, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for coming. I know it's a busy day for you. You're still a working guy.
I am. I have to actually, I got to head right now and head to my job right now, as a matter of fact. So yes, I'm headed out.
Dick has one quick question for you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'm glad.
Michael, I use Gmail and suddenly I have started getting a bunch of spam messages. Is there any possible way to find out what application may have spawned these messages?
Okay, this is a very common question in the Gmail forum. I am not a Gmail product expert, but that doesn't mean what I would pursue and do is try and find a date of when it started happening. And then when is this on mobile or are you talking about a specific device? Is this Chrome or is it desktop or is it all of it?
This is Windows 11 on a PC.
Okay, Windows 11 on a PC. Then what I would do is I would find out sometimes, okay, this is just, and listen, I'm not a product expert in Gmail, but I have read this and heard this from Gmail product experts that said they had issues when updating a Windows app. You know, you can get Windows has their own apps that they have and they use. So, and that's a call for me for work. So I need to go pretty soon. But anyway, so what you can do is find out if you uploaded an app at that time, which could be causing that issue. I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm just saying that was a thing that came about that I heard about. It was a Windows thing that pushed stuff in through Gmail because, and how are you accessing your Gmail? Are you going through Chrome?
I'm going through Brave,
Through Brave? Okay, so
which
see
is a
Chrome,
Chrome.
right? Yeah, no, I know it's a version of that. Yeah, exactly. Try it on the regular Chrome and see if you have the same thing for a while. That would be my suggestion. Just try it on just regular Chrome and see if it blocks it or takes it. I don't know. I mean,
Anyway,
like I said,
it shows up in my spam folder, and so it's
yeah, I
easy
hear you.
to get rid of, but it's just annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, no, I get it. Absolutely. Yeah, just do that though. Reach out in the forums. The best way to try and resolve that. Ron,
Thank you, Michael.
Ron,
I'll let you go.
Thank you.
I know you got to
Thank
run.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll talk
Thanks,
later
Michael.
on today. Yep. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Yes. Thanks
Yep.
so much. All right, everyone. We will see you in about a week's time. Don't forget Tech for Senior Live on Thursday. Bill James will be there with us today on Thursday. We have, of course, starting in 10 minutes, our premier service. I've put the links in the chat.
I also put a link for the ODS website, and I just put it in again. So you can go to the dietary supplement page and take a look.
Right. And at 11 o'clock, Chris Gould will be online to answer any questions about your Google Photos. So if you want to participate in that, just go to their website and you'll see the link, and she'll be online in about 40 minutes to answer all your Google Photos questions as well. So it's a busy morning for everyone. Enjoy your week. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Mike Ungerman will be here talking about solar panels part 3. Then he's pointing on his roof behind him there. He's up installing them, washing them, working on them. Something. So Mike will be here next week talking about his solar panels, and we will see everyone in a week's time or maybe sooner. So anyway, bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.